Vande Bharat mission, the world's largest evacuation operation, is all set to begin tomorrow with 10 flights which will bring back 2,300 Indians from 10 countries back home. As the government begins its Vande Bharat mission to bring all Indians home during the pandemic, we are being joined by stranded Indians and NRIs to speak on the situation in their respective countries. And in fact, let me introduce them one by one. Vinay Bisain joins us from Russia. Vinay, if you're there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. We're also joined by Karishma Dhingra. Karishma Dhingra.
Hi, I can hear you.
All right. Welcome to the show, Karishma. We're also joined by Shweta Subhadarshini.
Hi.
Hi, Shweta. And you're based in US. Sai Vishal Sriram, also joining us from the US. And Sudhanshu.
Hello, I'm Sai. I'm currently in Chennai.
You're currently in Chennai. Okay, I beg your pardon. Sudhanshu Kaushik.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, and Janetha Reddy, US immigration attorney, also joins us on the program. Thank you for being here, guys.
Good evening.
Thank you for being here. I hope you all can hear me properly, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Karishma Dhingra, let me start by asking you, if you can hear me, asking you, what's your situation currently? Where are you right now? First of all, tell me.
I am currently in Arlington, Virginia. My university shut down in March. So I have my cousins here, so I moved to them. But most of my friends got back to India as soon as they heard that going online. But I was transitioning to my OPT visa, so I decided to stay in the US to wait for that.
Okay, so you are waiting to come back to India, and you obviously want the government to intervene and bring you back. Is that right? Am I correct?
Yes, I have heard that there have been evacuation flights, but I am planning to wait out May before I come back to India. I have a job starting in August, so I don't want to just be not being able to come back into the US.
Janetha Reddy, let me come to you. I'm sure you deal with a lot of people who are eager and desperate to come back. What kind of impediments, what kind of roadblocks do you get to know, do you come up on a regular basis, that you have to deal with, and perhaps that is something that the government also has to look into now?
Yeah, definitely, because people, a lot of people who are here on temporary visas, like, B1, B2, are eagerly waiting, to, fly back home to be with their families. Let's say, for example, especially when, they are here on B1, temporarily, they'll be here, like, on that business purposes for 30 days or 40 days, and then, they cannot stay beyond, their I-94, given period. So, they are very eagerly waiting to fly back to the home country. And, when we look into the temporary B2 visitors visa as well, so, those people, a couple of them, we came across are renewing for the second time, their visas. So, these are the people that are currently, waiting and happy to hear about, the government's initiative.
All right, Sudhanshu Kaushik, if you can hear me, let me come to you. Tell us about some of the problems that you've been facing. What's the situation in the place where you are at right now?
So I'm based in New York, which is predominantly now the epicenter of the pandemic. But it's not necessarily me that's facing these issues. These are Indian students based all over the United States, and those range from very basic hunger needs. And, it's uncomfortable to say, but Indian students are sleeping hungry on a daily basis because they don't have enough money to buy groceries. People are having accommodation issues after being thrown out of universities, or after their landlords have thrown them out. They're in situations and predicaments. I just shared photos the other day of someone living in an open garage in Palm Springs, California, where the temperature goes up to 40 degrees Celsius. We have obviously legal issues. People that are trying to understand how this impacts their OPT status, how this impacts their J1 or F1 visas. And some of those have been cleared up and some of them are still there. So it's a mixture, sadly, of immediate relief needs that students are going through, but also just in terms of logistically what happens to them, their visa status, and a bunch of confusion that comes with that that we're dealing with.
Sudhanshu, Indian students who have the Indian passport, even in New York, can always invoke the services and the assistance of the Indian embassy over there or the consulate.
Yeah, that's easier said than done, first of all. I would say that the
Why do you say that?
Indian
Why do you
consulate,
say that? Why do you say it's
It-
easier said than done? What is the problem there?
Look at the scale. If you take the Ministry of External Affairs statistics and the HRD, there are over 250 to 300,000 Indian students studying in any given year in the United States. Say 50%, 60%, 70% of them have gone back, right? Those are large numbers, but let's just take that. That still leaves us with almost 30,000 plus, 50,000 plus students that are stranded here. So you have to understand that the scale of this is so huge. And by the way, this Vande Bharat relief that they're trying to do, it's great. Immediate relief. First of all, no students is a priority in that list. And second, it's about 1,000 seats altogether. So how do you, how do you even coordinate 50,000 students that need to be brought back with 1,000 seats?
Absolutely. Sai, let me come to you now.
Yes.
50,000 students just in the United States. Forget about the rest of the world. How is Mission Vande Bharat going to achieve that? And are we in fact planning to bite more than we can chew?
Hi. First of all, I'm a H1 visa. I'm an employee that I'm stranded in India right now. I'm here to represent the people that are stranded in India, that are willing to, that are in urgency to go back to USA, back to their families that are left behind, and back to their employment. The Vande Bharat mission that will help significantly for the stranded Indians, stranded US visa holders in India. That will help most of the people, but we still need clarity from the government regarding the domestic travel. How do we make? Right now, the flights are started from Bombay and Delhi. They have scheduled flights from Bombay and Delhi, but we still need clarity on how the people from other parts of India, especially in the south, will make it to these main port of departures.
Okay, Shweta, coming to you. Where are you right now? And please apprise us of your predicament.
Yes, sure. So we discussed all these problems the last time we talked about it. So I'm one of the people who stranded in India. I'm currently in Bihar, and I'm supposed to go to Alabama because maybe I'll be starting my residency in June, and I'm supposed to report there this month so that I can complete all my paperwork. And not everybody can work from home, and physicians obviously cannot work from home. So another issue is that when they talked about the Vande Bharat scheme and how they're about to take us in the same flights meant for people to come to India, they have these criteria where they're saying that your visa should be valid for a year. I think that needs some research and coordination with the external affairs people, because visa is only required to enter the United States. To stay and work there, you need some other form of legal work documentation. In my case, I'm on a J visa, which is an exchange visitor visa. So I need a DS 2019, and I need a work card to work there. It's different for different categories of visas. So I think, and most of our visas are about to expire in June or July. So if you take that criteria, none of us would be able to enter the United States, and none of the embassies are open to renew our visa or get a stamping done right now. And some of the visas are only renewed once you reach there and in coordination with your employer. So I think the scheme is great, but it really needs to be discussed with other people who know about these things, and you should allow everybody who has
when you say other people,
my family is there, so
when you
I
say
have to reach there, and my job is there.
Shweta, when you say other people, what exactly do you mean by that? Do you mean other governments, other countries who are perhaps in a similar state?
Yes, definitely. So I don't know much about the visa of UK or for that matter UAE, whether what they're allowing right now. But for US, I definitely know that they have not banned our entry. They have not banned entry of H1B or J1 yet. This was brought up in the last time we talked about it. They said that India is not willing to send us back because US will not take us. That is completely wrong because there is no such thing right now. But it might become an issue later on if we don't reach as soon as possible.
Okay, Vinay, coming to you now. Obviously, people are going back. People are, in fact, returning to their homes. But the criteria or the definition of this criteria, which is being undertaken by countries, is perhaps something that needs to be revisited. You concur?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. There's a lot of disturbance.
Yeah, there is a lot of disturbance. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Vinay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Vinay,
Yes, sir.
tell us where you are. And
Sir, I'm from Russia. I'm here to represent the students living in Russia. About more than 1 lakh students are living in Russia. And
where are you right now?
So I'm from Russia and in Nalchik state.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually from last 1.5 months, we are trying to contact the embassy. And we are fighting, we are not fighting, we are asking for help to send us back to our country. Because more than 1 lakh students are living, not students, even the tourists are also living here. They are wanting to go back to India. But according to them, they are telling that we are safe, more safe here in Russia. But the cases, according to, when we'll match the cases from India and Russia, the cases are more in Russia. Today itself, it has gone about 1,66,000. And in top 10, the Russia is standing for top 7, in the rank 7. And when the scheme, when the Matram came, and the flight dates came, Russia is not standing in that list. And they are saying that after phase 2 or phase 3, we are going back to India. But in that also, the students are not standing that list.
But Vinay, are you facing any problems living in Russia?
Yes, sir.
Because food
here the lockdown is going on.
Is food and shelter a problem during this time of the year? I know
Yes,
that
sir.
because even March and April and May can get a little cold in Russia. I've stayed there myself for 4 years. I know how it gets over there. Is that a problem? Is heating a problem?
Yes, sir. So very much so. Because because we don't go outside and we have to buy some grocery items. Everything we have to go and buy. But the stores have been closed. The medical shops have been closed here. And if we'll go out, somebody get infected. The university is itself saying that we shouldn't go outside and buy things. But it is not providing us anything in the hostel itself.
Okay, all right. We'll talk more about this, and in fact, we'll take inputs and figure out
Yes,
and
sir.
assess the problems that all of you are in. But after this very short break, we'll be right back.
हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट हुए नहीं कि बिल का मीटर चालू, और ये मीटर तेजी से आपकी सारी सेविंग्स खत्म कर देगा। अरे अब तो करवा लो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस policybazaar.com से, महंगा नहीं है। policybazaar.com हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, स्टैंडर्ड टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस अप्लाई।
ITV Network and Art of Living present Heart to Heart with Sri Ravi Shankar. How to manage fear and anxiety in COVID-19. Gurudev will explain the benefits of meditation. Heart to Heart, Kapil Sharma in conversation with Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar. Look Heart to Heart tomorrow 5 p.m. on India News NewsX. Presented by Kentaro, जो देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी. Associate sponsor Ayurveda by ML. Ayurveda for a youthful you.
Staying indoors cannot break our spirits. Laptops brought offices to us. Phones made it easy for friends to converse. So protect your today by staying home. And to secure your future, trust LIC. Now pay LIC premium easily through digital payment options like UPI, Bheem, Net Banking, Credit Card, Debit Card, Paytm, PhonePe and Google Pay. LIC, हर पल आपके साथ.
All right, welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra, and we are in fact discussing problems and issues with people who live outside of India and are perhaps stuck in the country because they can't go. All travel is suspended, and people who are in the United States or other parts of the world who want to come back home but are not being able to. Ashish Singh, my colleague, also joins me from the newsroom in this debate. We'll go to him momentarily. In fact, Sai, during the break, we were discussing, the impediments that you guys are facing conducting your regular day-to-day work, because you are in India and the work that you are doing obviously pertains and relates predominantly to the United States. So you are facing problems with that. But the question here being that, India is a lot better in terms of contracting the virus if you compare it with United States.
Yes, I agree. That's only limited to certain states like New York, but there are a lot of other states in
even
USA
California,
where
for that matter, even Texas or Louisiana, even Florida is rattled with coronavirus. You have million plus people.
So we need to understand. US, the peak has reached already. I mean, a lot of states, it's in a plateau state right now. So the number of cases that are increasing are not as much. The rate is not that high right now. So as of now, the risk to contract virus is not very different from what we would have in India. In most of the states.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I just want to know, in terms of experience of an Indian student living in the United States, where this pandemic has not just hit, but is exponentially increasing still. Everyone here in New York literally knows someone who has either died or has been affected by COVID-19. In my own house, I know two people. I live with one who had COVID-19. So I think that mediating and saying that, the plateau has reached is far more dangerous. All government officials are saying that this second wave will be back post-summer. And that doesn't mean that the first wave is gone. It's just that, we're not having 5,000 deaths or whatever the number was at one day each, right? So we need to be really careful in terms of saying that, hey, the United States is far better or India is far better. And just be careful that we take a risk. I personally haven't stepped outside for 62 days because I live with someone who works at the ER, right? So I might be safe right now because I might be asymptomatic, but that doesn't mean I can't spread the virus to other people. So we need to be mindful when we're thinking about these things.
All right, Shweta, let me ask the same question for you. Do you want to go back to the US? In fact, Dr. Fauci, on a regular basis during those White House press briefings also has been saying that, the fight is not over. The second wave is coming. The onset of summer is not going to help the situation at all. 70,000 people have died in the United States. Why would you want to go back?
Because if all the doctors sit at home, who will treat the patients? I'm a frontline worker, so I have to report to my duty. I cannot keep sitting here. I'm employed in Florida, and I have to go there. I'm an intern.
Okay.
So that's my reason.
All right. So you're missing you're missing that gush of getting back to work. I understand that completely. Janetha, let me come to you. Obviously, these problems are very stately in nature. The countries and their governments, respective governments, have decided what's best and what's not best for them at this point in time. What are the legal ramifications of withholding people or suspending travel between two countries? Is that an area perhaps which can be explored or looked into in certain special cases?
I was not able to hear your question properly. I'm sorry about that. There's a lot of disturbance going on from somebody, so I can't hear your question properly.
Okay.
Can you please repeat
can you hear
again?
me now? Janetha, can you hear me now?
Yes. I can hear you.
All right. Tell us about the legal ramifications or legal fallback options that people can have at this point in time. Or do you think, like everything else, they too have been suspended?
See, when we look into, the legal perspective, those who are staying here, of course, people, those who have valid visas, they can stay back, and then, there is an option for them, to extend because the USCIS is, open and working. Of course, the local field offices are closed, but, those who are there, those, the I-94s are expiring, they just have to make sure that they timely file the extensions, just not sitting and then say that, okay, I might leave in the next week, or, maybe because of this initiative, I might catch the next flight and go. So my advice to them would be definitely please make sure that, you are filing those kind of extensions. So that way you are, protected legally. And then when you enter the country next time, so, you can at least, show the paperwork saying that, hey, this is what I did, I filed the extension on time and stayed legally inside the country. But for some, like they are on their second extensions, like, initially they were given 6 months to stay in the United States, and then, they extended for another 6 months, which were expiring, during the May time frame. Even we are encouraging those kind of people, please do, have an extension in place, at least, forget about whether it's getting approved or not. So at least, doing those kind of extensions will give you that kind of, legal status to stay inside the country till, everything is unfolded, because, still it's evolving. And then, if we look into, especially the New York, as one of the person in there said that, definitely COVID came, a lot of people, everybody knows, at least one or two people, who have been going through these difficult times. But, please follow the guidelines and then, stay in place and then, make sure.
All right, Janetha, I also have my colleague Ashish Singh, who joins me on the debate. Ashish, it's a noble initiative, Mission Vande Bharat. It's an attempt to bring back Indians who are stranded abroad. It might not be, an ideal platform to get all of them back, but it's a good start.
That's correct. And remember, it's happening in a phase-wise manner. The plan we have is currently from two different domains. One is the air, and obviously second one is the maritime domain, where the Indian Navy is calling it Samudra Setu, this operation, and the MEA is calling it Vande Bharat. Now, as far as this entire operation is concerned, so far we have been told only about 1 week. I'm told by the sources in the Ministry of External Affairs that the operation, as far as evacuating Indians from abroad is concerned, is going to be at least lasting for 20 to 25 days. And based on the reviews that they do every weekend, they will be actually revising and extending their list of countries which will be covered under this particular operation. Now, the specific thing as far as the Indians going abroad who are currently stranded here, or who want to go for their genuine reasons like visa expiring, or their family members, or the fear of losing the job, it certainly is going to be a major tough call, I would say, for the Indian government, because till last moment they were not ready to include this particular aspect as far as the Indians going in the empty flights are concerned. Primarily because once you have this operation being suspended in a month approximately, say from now, it will be difficult if the foreign countries do not start the international operation, or if the Indian government keeps the Indian airspace suspended for the international operation, then it will be difficult for some of them to come back if and when they want to. So that's the main apprehension as far as this particular operation is concerned. But finally, it has been included, but it's going to be completely on an individual evaluation based cases.
All right, so eventually everyone, the good part is that it is going to happen, maybe sooner than later or later than sooner, but it is going to be based on evaluation which is being done or is going to be done by either the Indian consulate or embassy abroad, or the criteria which is going to be set forth by the government and governments alike across the world. Ashish, appreciate you joining us, and thank you everyone from all parts of the world, including India, for being a part of this show. And let me remind you that we are here. You can reach out to us on social media if you face problems. We'll try our best to in fact put those problems forth to the right authorities, and we'll do our best to make sure that your safety, your health, your well-being is taken care of. Thank you so much for joining us, all of you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.